Hi everyone, welcome back to Abra Knowledge channel. Today we are going to discuss very important topic called chi-square using Excel. You don't need heavy software to do it. You can easily do it with the help of Excel. And there are five examples which we are going to ponder, and also we are going to quickly compare the result with the Minitab. And it also we can see that there is Excel and Minitab perfectly the values are sync. And the five example include builder, dealer, which hotel is the best, like Beachcomber and Windsurfer, and viewing audience, and which hotel is the best. And then you will get the alpha value, and then you will get the p value. Alpha value I kept it 5%, and the p value, which is the resultant value, the statistic of significance, and hypothesis conditions. As you know that if it is less than 5%, we need to reject the null hypothesis. If it is greater than 5%, do not reject the null hypothesis. And also statistic significance, just an overview. We'll go in detail in this video. So this is the one. So this is coming from Juran Quality Planning and Enterprise Quality, and page number 625. This is the input method, and wanted to determine that whether the typewritten and handwritten and is a it is a factor or not, right? For example, we have input method as handwritten and then followed by typewritten, and then you have a number that is discrete number, good and bad, and of course, and you have a 60 and good handwrittens, and 204 is a bad, and then followed by 369 and all that. The very first thing what we need to do is we need to create the sum formula across the across the rows and column. How to do it? Just create a sum formula between these two sum and these two sum, right? Column wise, and then row wise you can do it, right? You already have that sum formula. In all the cases, all the sum formula has been created, and then the same thing you can copy paste it. So this original one you can copy paste it. What you can do is, so this is nothing but actually 60 divided by 429. 369 divided by 429, you get the percentage, right? And then this is just to give a how much in the percentage. And in that, similarly, you have bad 26 percentage, and then tab return you have 73 percentage bad, right? And then you have an expected value. This expected value, how to calculate, I will tell you. What we need to do is the same table you need to mimic three times, right? So first time I have done it, and then I calculated this one. For example, let me do it one more time. You just have to mimic the same thing. So only the array of table, the original table. So you can remove this one. What you can do is basically you can copy paste the same table values. Value got copy pasted, values got copy pasted, right? Now what is the next step is remove this value, the original values, right? And then first thing is we need to divide. So how we can divide? 60 divided by 429, and then this 369 divided by 429, right? So you have got this percentage, right? This is in a percentage. I'm just changing the symbols to percentage. Similarly, I can do it later. So 204 divided by 784, and similarly 580 divided by 784. So this has been calculated, right? And so now I convert it into percentage, so it cannot be 200 percentage. So I just put it like this one, good and bad. The next value is, again what you need to do is you just need to remove only these value, that the original value. This is the original value, and you just need to remove it. Okay, delete it, and all you need to do is give equal to and come at the end of this one. So what you can do is basically you can just have the same value 429, and otherwise you can just simply copy paste as a value, copy paste it as a value. Yeah, and this also you can copy paste this as a value, go to this and copy paste as a value. Fantastic, now it is done. So now from this one, how we can find out the expected value? Expected value formula is, first you go to the column 429 and then into the same row. Which is that row? So this one, 264 divided by 1213. And similarly, the same thing. First, you end up this column, what is the value, into end of row, what is the value, divided by total value. And similarly, you can do the same thing. End up this column into, and then you have a row divided by this value, right? And similarly, you can just do the same thing. End up this column into and this value, right? End of this row divided by this value. And what I'm doing is I'm just trying to convert this as just without any decimal. Just if you wanted to keep the decimal, it's fine, but for me it's okay. So we have just converted all these now, right? So now what you can see is, so this is the resultant value. This is the actual value, for example 60, and resultant value is 93. 204 is the actual value, resultant value is being came down 171, and then it is a resultant value, right? Or expected value, right? So another word, expected value. So now what we need to do is, once all things are done, so we can write down the formula. Let me invoke the formula. Chi and chi-square test, right? Open bracket, actual range. This is an actual range, right? Okay, comma, expected range. This is expected range, right? And then close bracket. So now you got this value. This value is pretty much smaller than 5%, that is 0.05, right? So what we are going to do is we are going to reject the null hypothesis, and there must be some reason to it, some non-random relationship, and there must be some systematic one we need to find out. Similarly, let's go to the second example. Second example also the same way. What you need to do is this original value. This is the original value. All you need to do is step number one, you just create the sum, right? Once they created a sum, then you can put that percentage 700 divided by, what you can do is you can just have this way, and let me delete everything. Okay, first you do this one, 700 divided by 210, and then 1310 divided by this, just to get an idea like how much in percentage. 9 divided by 27, and then 18 divided by 27, and if you add them, of course it will be 100%, right? It will be 100%. Yeah, perfect. So now how to do this one? Very simple. And just I just put it like 210, the values are correct. I'm just double checking it. Yes. And what you need to do is, this is end of this column into end of row divided by total value, right? So end of this column times end of row divided by this value, and then similarly end of this column times end of row divided by and total values. Similarly, end of this column times end of row divided by total values. So this is the one. Again, one more time I will just convert everything into decimals and all that I will remove. This is the one. And then you know that how to apply that formula, right? So now I will delete and apply. So chi-square, right? This is the one. Chi-square dot test, actual range. What is actual range? This is an actual range, comma, what is the expected range? This is expected range, right? And you don't need to apply that the total and all that, right? So that's it. And 0.82 is greater than 5%. That means we need to accept the null hypothesis. That means whether it's handwritten or typewritten are pretty much same. Let's go to the another one, the another example. This is very interesting example. Example number 3. So this is coming from the book called Statistic for Manager using Microsoft Excel 8th edition, page number 500. All the way you will find like around 10 pages on this very chapter, right? And this has got the choose hotel, and you have a two type of one. One is called beachcomber and windsurfer. Beachcomber, again you have a value. The same value I convert into percentage, right? So maybe what I will do is I will just mimicking the same table here. Yeah, because I do need this value, the resultant. And let's say this is the original value, right? This is the original value. What I will do, equal to 163 divided by, first thing we need to do is sum, right? That has already been done. Sum across rows, across column, across rows been done. So now the next step is 163 divided by this value, and then 64 divided by this value, you get this one. And similarly 154 divided by 108, in case if you wanted to, maybe there is something error. 154 divided by 262, yeah, and then 108 divided by 262. So you got this one. Just to get that idea, like how much percentage, for example 59 percentage, and here's 72. I wanted to know whether it's statistically difference or not. And this is a mild difference, right? Only you have how much difference you have. You have around uh, very less mild difference you have, right? 10 13 percentage difference you have, but we can take test it with the help of statistic, right? So how to do? Same, I wanted to find out that expected value, end of rows times end of, oh sorry, end of columns times end of rows divided by total value, right? End of rows column into end of rows divided by total value, right? And then end of column times end of rows divided by total value, right? End of column times end of rows divided by total value. So you get this one. And then this also I'm converting into values. If you wanted to keep in decimal, you can keep it. So what it says is the original value is 163 and expected value is 147. And the original value is 154, expected is 170. So you get the clarity that what is the original, what is expected. And if you sum them up, right, you will get the same thing, 489. You will get the same value as such, right? Okay. So the next step, what we need to do is uh, apply the formula. What is the formula? Chi-square-test. Actual range, this is the actual range, minus expected range, the expected range. Okay. And this is the value you're getting. That is smaller than this one, and reject the null hypothesis. Exactly the same thing. Example number 4. Example number 4, you have a general TV and you wanted to know that audience attention or viewing audience, TV or internet. So you have a number, and this number, what we need to do first, this is the actual value, right? So this actual value, first, all the time you can create that sum formula. Using sum, you can just add them and do the same thing and do the similar things with column also as well, right? Column also it is done, and it is also been done. Okay. And the percentage, it is easy to find out, 35 divided by 182 and all that. This is easy. Now here also that, very subtle difference we have, even with the internet also we have subtle difference, so we can find it out, right? So how to do? And I'm just removing that expected values and end of column. Okay. into end of rows, right, times this value. Exactly the same thing, end of column into end of rows divided by this value. And similarly, end of, sorry, I need to fill this, end of column times end of rows by divided by total values. And exactly the same thing, you have end of column into end of rows divided by total value. So you can see here it is 451, exactly it is matching, right? And that or expected value, there is some variation, 35 it became 81, 166 became 120, and so on, right? And then apply the same formula. Yeah, open actual range, this is the actual range, divided comma expected range, this is expected range. Yeah, and now this is with the only categories, two category, yes or no, right? Beachcomber or windsurfer, right? Again, you have a handwritten and typewritten, right? Good or bad. Now we have the last example. We have interesting thing. We have three examples. So there are three hotel. One is called Golden Palm, Palm Royal, Palm Princess, and there are customer coming. So there are 128, 199, 186. No is 88, and this one. Similarly, we need to create the some formula across the uh, across the rows and across the column. So now this is done, right? Once it is done, you have also have a percentage also as well, right? So percentage also you have, like this looks to be great, actually that palm royal looks to be great percentage, but we can show it statistically, we can prove it. How to do? Similarly, I'm just removing this value. So I've just copy paste the same value here, and end of column into rows divided by total value, and end of this column times row divided by this value, total value, end of this column times, and then end of rows divided by total values, and the last is same, end of column into, easy way to remember, into, and you have end of rows by result, I mean the overall value, exactly end of column times end of rows by total value, and the last but not the least, so you have the same thing, end of column times rows by total value. If you see here, it will exactly match to which 700, right? So now within that there is a variation. For example, 188 became 158, 199 became 170, and so on and so forth, right? And then you can find out chi-square. Actual value, this is actual value, comma, then expected range. So we got 0, that is reject the null hypothesis, right? So this is how we can easily do it with the help of Excel itself. You don't need to do it, in anything in Minitab and all that. You can directly do it if you know the formula and logic. Very important things to know is this one, expected value. Once expected value is being found out, it is very, very easy. Expected value, how we can do? I will do one value, just as a summary. And what you can do is end of column times end of rows, right, by total value. That's it, right? You got the same thing. And the similar one, we can do it in Minitab also as well. In Minitab, I'm gonna compare the same thing. First one is builder. Builder, how what I'm going to do is stat and time series. I mean, you have a test called table because it comes in table, and cross tabulation and chi-square. and let me give first value good and bad. This is to do with the builder one, and I'm going to perform the chi-square, give okay. So chi-square is 0. In Excel also we have got 0, right? We have got 0, exactly the same value it is giving it, right? And then the second example, control E, and the second example to do with the second example was relating to distributor, and good one and bad one, and then you can give okay. Exactly 0.872, you can just see here 0.872, exactly we got the same value. Let's do in the other values. So this is one is beachcomber and windsurfer, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep it beachcomber, windsurfer, do the same thing, 0.003, exactly 0.003. Even if you round it off, it will be 0.003, perfect matching. The last one is, I mean, the fourth one is general TV and the internet, right? And what you do, so you can go here, and yes or no I have given, so you can just keep it here, give okay, and this is 0, exactly the same value we got. The last one is here, degree of freedom is n minus 1, right? The three things we are checking it. So degree of freedom will be 3 n minus 1. N is 3, 3 minus 1, that is 2, right? So this is one more information on degree of freedom. Anyway, so we'll do the same thing, control E to go back to the previous one. I am going to keep it all the three one, right? One second, let me also minimize this also as well. Last one is this value, right? And control E, and going to keep it C18 all the way to C20, right? And then keep it okay, and you got the 0. Degree, as I said, degree of freedom is 2, because why it gives a 2, because 3 n minus 1, there are 3 hotel we are comparing it, and minus 1 is 2, right? I hope you enjoyed this video, and the next video we'll be talking more important subject, how to do this is from the calculations, and we can also do using the pivot table also as well, the Excel pivot table, with the help of array set of data, and which we will be doing in upcoming video. Please do like, share, subscribe my channel. You have wonderful day ahead.